The people continue to spend, you continue to see them feel a little bit better, the housing's a little bit better, all the things that affect them, stock market levels are higher, are in decent shape, and consumers and the economy has been growing. The question was, will everything going on cause them to slow down again? And the issues that had to be dealt with long term, and how it would affect near-term business in terms of what would be accelerated depreciation for investment in business, what would be the final demand. Much more cautious, and they continue to be more and more cautious. Lots of economists' projections. You'll see that the general view is the economy would have negative growth or slightly negative growth or a couple percentage points, whatever there is, but it's a near-term recession impact. And that people is, will we be serious about fixing the long-term problems with America's fiscal situation? Basically, having more revenue and less expenses so we can get the thing more in line. And that's preoccupying people because they're worried about the longer-term issue. To solve the long-term issues, I think it could have the potential of being disappointing even if it is fixed.
We talked to a lot of...
Yes, absolutely. So, I think it's not January. They were actually forming these plans in August and September. So even leading up to that, people are becoming more conservative. And I think that's had an impact on what the growth would be in 13, all things being equal. Municipalities and others make their budget in a half year, and then corporations make their budget basically early fall. And the decisions people are being thoughtful about are, should I build a plant? Should I add new equipment? What will the final demand be? All that is pretty much done for corporate America right now for 13. It's about it to give the confidence to have people actually think about 13 into 14 being a very constructive year and not think anything else. I obviously talk to them and say, I don't speak of Bank of America. We're a big company. We have 270,000 people. We have lots of people who can help us think through all these scenarios. I said, put yourself in the shoes of one of our clients. Uncertainty where they thought that was a rock that they understood, and suddenly they pull back. And then they don't know their personal tax rates, they don't know what their employee tax rates will be, and they pull back. And so I think we add value as we see 30,000 middle market companies in the country, and by hearing from them we can help articulate what they're seeing and how they're behaving. You say what the Fed is doing in QE2 and things like that. They're trying to help the economy, and this is a big economy, and that's the thing that we have to be careful about as we think about the U.S. economy versus the rest of the economies of the world. It's so big that once it goes in a direction, it's hard to reverse that. Now, the good news is it has been growing. It's been growing relatively stable over the last several quarters, and if we can keep higher interest rates, because it means the economy's growing. If the economy's growing, we're going to do better as an industry, and so, we all want the economy to grow because that is a lot more fun to be around. There is an idea that if you get a mortgage now and it's so far below what we think is sort of normalized interest rates that it's our balance sheet very close, because that, and what we mean by close is our duration of our balance sheet's 2.5 years or so. So a lot of mortgages we swap out the interest rate risk because of that as an industry and a company done. I mean, it's a lot of work to get this many mortgages through the system with all the rules and work we have to do, and so we're getting it through. We'll do more mortgage originations this quarter, consumer businesses, different groups of customers. So we have what we call a retail business, which is the general America out there. Then we had a preferred business, which would start with higher income people before, and then we have our wealth management business. So there's your core banking account, your credit card, your debit card, and potentially a home or a car loan, and that's what we're focused on. So what we're doing is everything we can to drive relationship bank context. In the retail team, in that broad group of American customers, 20 million checking holders of Bank of America, we make money today, but we've dedicated literally thousands of people to drive revenue growth there at the same time, and they're very different business models, and so that's what we've been trying to do. We talked about for years the overdraft fees and the interchange fees and even the Card Act, which that's been out of our P&L now for over a year. So literally quarter by quarter the fees. On a given month, we have 22 million texts and emails we send out to customers warning them that their balances drop below $25 and they should deposit to avoid it. That intimate relationship is so different. I think we continue to work the distribution network. So we said we were a year and a half ago we'd bring that on the branch structure, and we're in the process of doing that. On the cost, it's what you can do. Our revenues are relatively stable and will grow with the economy. Now we've kind of repositioned the company. $20-odd billion dollars of revenues are today versus where they were a couple years ago. All that fits into this, and we've done a reasonable job. We still have a lot of work to do.